All right, so this program is going to cover this bar chart program. And the idea of it is you're going to be a district manager of multiple retail stores, and you're going to have so many a number of sales, and so each $100 is going to represent a star for $100 in profits or whatever. And the idea is that you're going to be able to humans like information with pictures to make sense of it. So now that we're using real primitive tools here, so it's not going to come out looking like a great bar chart or anything, but like here you've got store 1, and that's the number of stars they have, and then you could compare it to like store 5. So bar chart says you'll create a program that displays a bar chart to compare sales for 5 different stores. Write a program that asks the user to enter total sales for 5 stores. So you're going to have variables store 1, store 2, store 3, or sorry, sales 1, sales 2, sales 3, sales 4, and sales 5. You should pass the 5 different store sales values into a setnumstar method. In the setnumstars method, calculate how many stars you will need in each row. Hint, a star represents $100 in sales. If you have $1,000 in sales, you have 10 stars. So the stars are just shift 8 on your screen, or on your keyboard. I can't do like half a star here, so that's something to think about too, is that if you're going to put in numbers that don't divide by 100 evenly, then it's not going to come out perfect. But it is what it is. It's just simple practice programs that you're supposed to be learning from, and the basics of loops. So if you have $1,000 in so create a display numstars method to display the store number label followed by the number of stars for the storefront. Hint 2, use a loop, a for loop. The Boolean expression will need to incorporate the number of stars for each store. Your output should look similar to my output below. Okay. So, there's your name, main bar chart. You're going to have to think through. So here's your sales values, sales 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to do string values for this. So this will be like store 1, store 2, store 3, store 4, store, and 5. And we'll do a division problem to calculate the number of stars for each, so that we'll have like a numstar 1, numstar 2. And our numstars will end up being like our loop that goes from, the first star to the number to the end. So let's get started on this one. It's probably one of our longer programs that we were going to write so far this semester. Let's create new. So main bar chart. So see here, we got our using name space std, and then inside here, and I'm gonna do a lot of copying and pasting. Okay, so you might have to stop this and pause it while you're typing this in. Please enter the total sales for store 1 and L, and then CN sales 1. So we're gonna have double sales 1, sales 2, sales 3, sales 4, and sales 5. And I'm gonna do a bunch of copying and pasting here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. So this will be store 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And so then we want to set our number of stars. So set num stars. So we'll have sales 1, sales 2, sales 3, sales 4, and sales 5 that we pass off into set num stars. And then we're just going to do a simple display. So display bar chart. Okay. So I'm also going to copy that, paste that there, and this is going to be void, and this will also be void. Okay. So we got that. So we'll do our void set num stars, and it's actually not correct. I gotta do a few things in here. That line up there is not correct either. I gotta pass these in as doubles. Double. 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 So again, let me. This will fix this right here. Now this can stay the same because we're not passing anything into it. We're just doing void display bar chart. All right. So for this one, we are going to, remember I said we're going to have our num stars variables. I'll show you what I mean by that here. So this is going to be an int. We're going to say num stars 1, num stars 2, num stars 3, num stars 4, stars 5. So why are we doing that? Watch this. So we do num stars 1 is equal to, we're going to cast this as an int, because remember, if you put 990 divided by 100, it's going to give you, because sales is a double, that would give you 9.9 stars. Well, I can't do that. I can't do 0.9, 90% of the shift 8 button, the star button on your computer. So we'll do sales divided by 100. Sales 1, and so when this divides it out, if you have 990 divided by 100, that does come out to be 9.9, but when I turn it into an int right here, I cast it as an int, it just will save 9 into here. So that's why I saved that as, or I declared it as an integer. 3, 4, 5, and then I'll just change these 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I can say 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I declare it wrong? Num stars. Okay, num stars. I keep hearing that and I think of Spaceballs, Lone Star. Okay, anyway, so now we have our number of stars for each one. So let's say I have 10 here, then I can just do a loop going, starting at 0 and go to less than 10. So it'd be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, which is 10 stars. And I could, here's another thing I got to do. I got to create a, here we go. We'll start off, we'll do string store 1. Remember, this is going to be my label plus the stars, all right? Store 2, store 3, store 4, and store 5. And then we're going to have a stars variable, okay? So in here we have our number of stars, so now we can start building our strings and doing our loops with as many stars that we need. So store 1 is going to be equal to, at first, it's going to be equal to store 1 colon space. And then we can do ourselves a for loop, like I said, where we could say int I equals 0, I is less than numstars 1, I plus plus. So each time you're going to go through, you're going to add 1 to I. So if you start at 0, and again, numstars from our calculation here, let's say they had $1,000 in sales, or whatever, 1,000 divided by 100 is 10. So it goes 0 to 9, basically, and then I would hit 10, and that's too much, all right? And in programming, we usually start counting at position 0, so this might look weird to you. You could do this like this, and then do it like that. You could start at 1, and then you could go 1 to less than or equal to 10. But that looks funky to me, because I've been programming a while. But you usually start at position 0, because this is what you do with strings. You start at position 0, and arrays, you start at position 0, okay? So, again, if you're new to programming, this is a little bit weird to you, but the other way around is weird to programmers. So, I'm actually showing you the way that, you would see this in industry or whatever. So stars plus equals, and I'm going to be building my stars string. Okay, so that's going to give me my 10 stars added all up into the stars variable. So I have store 1, and then I have my 10 stars right here. And so then I can do store 1 plus equals the stars. So that would add the 10 stars. And then I'm going to instantly reset that to blank, because I want to be able to use this variable over again. Anytime you can reuse code without having to create extra variables or extra loops, that would be good. I actually, I can't think of a way. Well, I guess I could build a function that would actually call these. That might be kind of cool. And then I would only need to call like a numstars function and pass in numstars 1, numstars 2, numstars 3, or whatever to it. But I'm just going to do it like this. So, all right. So then, so I could do that, and then that would save me some variables and stuff. But I'm just going to do it like this. It is what it is. It's fine. So then I can copy and paste. Now I can create store 2, numstars 2, and store 2, and this will be 3. Three, 3. Now the only thing is, when you copy and paste, and this is why when I was in industry, I just wrote my code. I tried to never use anybody else's code, and it's because I know my code that I'm writing. But even there, look, I pasted that, and I forgot to change that to 3. Let me see if I did that to 2. I think I did that to 2 as well. No. 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, so 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay, and then 5, 5. And to be honest with you, we don't even need to do that anymore, because it's the last one. So, and I actually think I forgot. Yeah, I forgot to display all this stuff. Probably want to do that. So, see out, store 1. Then I need to do my end L, and then cout store 2 and L. And then we got cout store 3. And then we got, sorry, I gotta pause it. My kid's knocking on the door. All right, so then we got cout store 4. And finally, cout store 5 and L. Okay. Now, I think this will work. I don't know, it's kind of a lot of code. Should be testing in between here, but, you know, you can stop the video and test after, you know, some code to see if it works right. So we're going to stick with even numbers. So I'm going to do, let's do 500, 1,000, 700, 1,500, and I don't know, 400. So I don't have that. So what did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I got 10. I got 7 there. 7. And then, so I'm missing, something's wrong with, so let's go down and look at this. So I got store 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, numstars 3, 3, 4, numstars 4. Yep, that would make sense right there. 5. Okay. So 5, 5. Okay, so let's try this again. So we could do, I don't know, 200, 400, 600, 800, 1,000. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8. No, still screwed up. Store 5. Store 5. All right. Yeah. So this is getting 1,000. So store 5 is getting 1,000. So stars 4. Okay. All right. So if you got issues like this, we'll do here numstars 4, and then we'll do numstars 4 and L. And so this just makes sure that this is just how you test it if you can't figure something out, which didn't plan on this, but it's actually good lessons for those of you that have issues. You never just write it from scratch and then it just works automatically. So see here. Okay, let's run this again. So 200, 400, 600, 800, 100. So numstars 4 is 1. That's not right. Sales 1, sales 2, sales 3, sales 4, sales 5, sales 1, sales 2, sales 3, sales 4, sales 5, numstars 1, 2, 3. Sales 1, sales 2, sales 3, sales 4, sales 5. Oh, look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I bet that fixes everything. Let's try this again. So you know, like, you never really know exactly what's happening. So, you know, when I got to here, I'm going, these numbers look weird. So that's when I jumped back up to here. I made sure that these were all being passed in properly and accepted in here. And that looked good. And then so I started going back up here. So again, when I was a programmer, my old mentor, he was like, throw a message in every single line to figure out where your problem is. And so, you know, when you're sitting there and you're struggling and your program's not working, the only way you can control your data is by displaying the information and seeing exactly what's being displayed to the screen, because it's like a needle in a haystack, and you got to figure out, you know, where that needle is and what the problem is. So let's try this: 200, 400, 600, 800, 1000, 2, 4, 6, 8. And so now it works and it's good. And see, here's where I got 8 and 10 here for 4 and 5. So anyway, this video is done. And like I said, I didn't really count on doing this error testing, but it actually worked out really well, because you guys got to see, you know, how I went about solving the problem of fixing it. So anyway, this video is done.